Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, depending on which time zone you guys are joining us from. I'll start with a quick introduction of myself. My name is Anand, and I'll be the presenter and for this webinar. So, to give you a very brief introduction about myself, I have overall 12 plus years of experience in the IT service management industry, and I'm a certified ITL expert trainer and a consultant with over 5 years of experience in training. So I have delivered hundreds of batches on ITL Foundation and ITL Expert. Before we get started with today's topic, there are a few guidelines that I'd like to share for today's session. So this session is approximately for 1 hour. We'll have some time for Q&A towards the end of the session. Today's agenda is pretty simple. It's to take you through what ITL is in a very brief, if ITL is new for some of you, talk about the relevance of ITL in 2021. We are living in a completely different era, as all of you know. So, what is the relevance of ITL in 2021? We talk about ITIL for Agile DevOps. So, a lot of people have confusion with so many different certifications. What is the difference? What is relevant for what role? We'll talk about that. The current version, which is ITIL 4, is released recently. When I say recently, it was released in 2019. It's the latest version. So, what all changes have happened? We're going to talk about that and how ITIL can help your career or your organization. We'll talk about what are the different certification schemes, and as I mentioned, we'll spend some time on the Q&A. So these are the agendas. Let me quickly dig into these topics. So let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. What is ITIL? As many of you might be new to ITIL, so we'll start by talking about what is ITIL. So I'll go into a brief history of how ITIL evolved. To understand that, we have to go back in future. ITIL started in early 1980s. So the first thing I'd like to point you towards is that this is more than 3 decades old, more than 30 plus years old framework. This is not something new. Many people say that I've never heard of ITL. Is it something new technology or what is it? So first thing is it is more than 30 years old. Well, it started as a project by the British government, and the version 1 of ITL was released in 1980s. We'll talk about what ITL is, but right now I just want to take you through a brief history of how ITL started and where it is today. See, in 1980s, it was just the British government that was using ITIL. 1990s is when the acceptance started spreading worldwide. Many organizations globally started accepting ITL as a framework and the de facto standard for handling their processes. But even at this stage, it was still in early days for ITL. I would say the major shift happened in 2000s. That is when Microsoft used ITL as a framework to come up with their own framework called Microsoft Operation Framework, which some of you or many of you may be familiar with. Now, over the years, there have been many updates to ITIL. The latest update, as I mentioned, happened in the year of 2019 after a gap of 8 years. So the previous version was ITIL v3. Now, some of you who have joined us today may already be certified on ITIL v3. So we'll also talk about what all changes have happened from ITIL v3 to ITIL 4. ITIL is something that does not go under updates every year or every couple of years. And why it is so, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. When this update has happened, it is a significant update from v3 to ITIL 4. Why this update happened? One of the reasons is that over the past years, especially the past few years, there have been an increased focus on concepts such as agile, DevOps, and lean. And the previous version of ITL was kind of becoming in disconnect with these latest technologies and latest methodologies. So there was a need to update ITIL. So in 2019, the latest version was released, which is ITIL 4. We'll talk about more about what ITIL 4 contains and what are the differences later. So this is more than 3 decades of experience, the industry best practices that is there in ITL. We're going to talk about that shortly. See, when we say ITIL, ITL is actually a collection of best practices. Now, over these 3 decades, the organization that owns ITIL, which is Excelos, has been collecting these best practices from across the industry. See, one of the challenges that we face when we run our businesses or when we want to handle various different scenarios in an organization, whether we are an employee or we are running a business, is what to do in various situations. ITL is a collection of best practices that have provided proven outcome time and time again. That means many organizations in various different industries have adopted these best practices and benefited from them. In fact, 90% in one of the surveys, it was found out that 90% of the organizations that are part of Fortune 500 use ITL best practices in some shape or form. So that itself tells you that the value of ITIL. Now, it is widely accepted as a framework. Now, what is a framework? I'm going to talk about that shortly. So, ITIL is basically a collection of best practices that provide proven outcome and widely accepted. What does it mean for me as an individual or as an organization? Might be the question on your mind. Well, as an individual, when you adopt ITIL best practices, you know that the outcome will be effective because it has been tried and tested. It is the experience, collective experience of many different organizations, many different industries across spread across these 3 decades. When we say collection of best practices, see, ITL is not specific to a particular technology or a particular domain. ITL covers many different frameworks like Agile, Lean, Six Sigma, DevOps, and many more that are not even mentioned on this slide. So, ITL over these 3 decades have been trying to see what works in various different domains. So, be it development, be it infrastructure management, service desk, incident management. What are different organizations doing? What is working for different organizations? Those best practices they have been collecting, and that is what is being referred to here as a framework or a set of guidelines. See, when we talk about ITIL, we like to refer to ITL in 3 different words. Best practices, we say ITL is a collection of best practices from across the industry, which I've just talked about. Next, framework and guidelines. We have talked about best practices. Let's see how ITL works as a framework. Before we do that, let's understand what is a framework. If you would have seen construction of any building happening, you would have noticed that before they construct the building, they lay the foundation and create the outer skeleton structure, which then acts as the strength of that building on which the entire building is built. Now, why I'm talking about construction of buildings in an ITL session? See, as an organization, we need a foundation and a skeleton structure on which we can build our processes. ITL provides us with this basic understanding on how to run your processes. So whether it is service desk, whether it is incident management, problem management, change management, and many more, how to run these, what are the basic know-hows. They say that common sense is not very common, right? So ITIL tries to equip us with this common understanding and knowledge on how to run our processes, which may be missing even in the largest of the organizations. So we say ITIL is a framework. That means it provides us with the basic fundamental knowledge and understanding and the know-hows which will help us build our processes and get the most efficient result out of it. Just summarize, framework is a foundation on which something is built. So if you have to build the IT within your organization, or if it is already there, you have to improve. You need a framework. Without a framework, nothing can be built, nothing can withstand. So ITIL provides us. I like to say ITIL is like the ABC. What does that mean? ABC? That means it is the fundamentals of any organization. Okay. So these are some of the things. Now, ITL does not tell us, one of the beauties of ITL, ITL does not tell us exactly what to do in every situation. Now, you might be wondering, Anand, that does not seem like a benefit, that seems like a disadvantage. Well, let me tell you why that's an advantage. Because every organization has unique requirements. If we talk about an organization that has maybe just 10 or 15 people and they're struggling to grow, and they need to know how to handle their business, how to handle their IT, how to manage their service desk. It is a very unique requirement when I compare it to an organization that has maybe 100,000 employees. So we need a framework that is flexible in nature. So that is why ITL does not give you any standard rules. It gives you certain guidelines that can be amended and that are flexible in nature, that can be modified as per the need. It is very, very flexible, and it is very much scalable, right from an organization that is, 10 employees or 15 employees to an organization that is maybe 500 employees strong. So it is incomplete in the sense that it will give you the foundation, but it will not tell you how to run your processes step by step. Again, that might sound like a disadvantage to someone who does not know why ITL has been so successful. See, the specifics on how to handle certain things will vary from organization to organization, and ITL says that every organization should modify the framework as per their needs, as per their requirements. See, if we provide the same solution to everyone, it may work for some people, it may not work for others. In that sense, we are saying it is incomplete but essential part. Just like if we go back, if I go back to the last slide, this looks like incomplete building, but this is the essential part. Without the framework, without the foundation, there is no building, right? I think I made my point. So moving on, we say ITL is a set of guidelines or recommendations. See, what are guidelines or what are recommendations? If you look at this slide and see the highlighted points on the right hand side, avoid peak times, less but better, consider boosting. These are recommendations. What are recommendations? See, recommendations are things that are like, for example, if you go to a friend of yours and you ask, hey, can you recommend me a good restaurant? He'll recommend you from his own experience maybe 5 or 10 list of restaurants, but it is not mandatory for you to go to any of those or choose any of those. It is just a recommendation. You can choose to follow it or you can choose to ignore it. Similarly, when we talk about ITL as a set of guidelines, ITL gives us plethora of guidelines. It is up to us as an organization what works for us, we can pick and choose. So that is another benefit of ITL. It does not give us a set of rules like be responsive, be consistent. Because if it is a set of rules, then they are not flexible and every organization has to follow it as it is. So guidelines are recommendations for managing our IT. These are non-prescriptive and highly customizable in nature. That's a very brief about what ITL is. So to summarize, ITL is a set of guidelines, set of recommendation, best practices that have been collected over the past 3 decades. And all of this help us build the framework or the fundamental structure on which our infrastructure or IT is built. Now, a question everyone's mind might be how ITL is relevant to me as an individual or as an organization in 2021. See, one of the challenges that we are facing in today's world is, okay, if we talk about the current situation, the COVID situation, every organization is striving on how to survive in this pandemic, right? How to get better efficiency from the employees, how to do more with less resources, less money. ITL as a framework is brilliant in addressing these kind of queries and concerns. How, you ask? Well, these best practices help us to improve the efficiency of our processes and practices. Another challenge in 2021, well, I say 2021, this has been a challenge for past many years, is how to stay agile. Agile is flexible. See, one of the challenges that every organization is facing is how to how to keep up with these constantly changing business needs that are there. Many of you will relate to this very well. If you have a customer or a client, he gives you one requirement today, tomorrow he may change that requirement, and day after tomorrow it may be a different requirement. Constantly the business needs are changing. The world that we live in is constantly changing. So the framework that ITL is, especially ITL 4, has been designed in a manner that it is an agile framework. So no matter what need changes, it is very much adaptable. So again, if you ask how ITL is relevant in 2021, from a business perspective, from an organization perspective, it provides you with the necessary guidelines and framework that help you adapt to these changing business needs. As an individual, because many of you are attending here in the individual capacity, it is one of the most widely accepted frameworks, right? We're going to talk more about that and how it is relevant to you at an individual level. So why ITL? Why of all the frameworks, all that is there, why ITIL? So, I feel like a broken record talking about the same thing again and again, but the effectiveness of ITL again is that it is the most widely accepted framework globally. There is no comparison. There is no, when it comes to managing IT service management, there is no other framework that is close to ITIL. It is the most widely accepted framework. So, you know, as I was saying earlier, different organizations have different needs. Different individuals have different needs. ITL is a global standard for IT best practice. This pretty much summarizes why ITL is important for us as an individual or as an organization. As I mentioned earlier, 90% of Fortune 500 run their IT operations and on ITIL, they use ITL. So ITIL 4 basically provides us the guidance that we need for organizations of all size to navigate the challenges, all the challenges that we are facing in 2021. Digital connectivity in the era of COVID, getting maximum efficiency, all these ITL tries to address. So to summarize, ITL is beneficial for organization of all sizes, and ITL helps us addressing the need for being agile, which is one of the key challenges for every business today. Now, how it does, that might be the question because we have not addressed the how yet. So one of the core elements of ITL 4 is something called as a service value system. This is a very ingenious thing that ITL has come up with in ITL 4. They have created a system whose entire focus is to create value. You ask value for whom? Well, value for all the stakeholders, be it your customers, your clients, your internal stakeholders, project managers, internal IT teams. How to create value for all of these? What is the service value system, you ask? Well, there are 5 different components to this service value system. These components are guiding principles. So ITL 4 provides you with 7 guiding principles. These guiding principles that you learn in ITL 4 will talk about how to navigate in variety of different situations or scenarios that you face. So at the very beginning, once you learn these guiding principles, they help you in understanding how to be agile as an organization or as an individual in variety of different situations. So you get 7 guiding principles. How to apply governance at various levels, at an organization level, at a process level, at a service level, how to apply governance. A service value chain, which is a flexible, which is the heart of the service value system, which talks about how to take step by step from converting an opportunity or demand that we get from a customer or a user and transform that into value. Within this value chain activity, there are a variety of activities, and this is something that has changed from ITIL v3 to ITIL 4. This makes the entire system very flexible. The service value chain does not follow a particular path, but is very flexible dependent on the opportunity or demand that is incoming. So what do I mean by this? As I was mentioning earlier, the customer needs, customer demands keep on changing. This service value chain is not a fixed path, but is a system that is capable of adapting to these opportunities or demands that are changing. The moment the demand change, we change the service value chain to provide the same value that the customer or user is expecting. Now, I'm not getting into the detail because, of course, this is not a detailed training, but just to give you an overview of what ITIL is and what service value system is all about. This is at the heart of ITIL 4, and this is something that is new. The service value system also talks about the variety of practices. What are these practices? These are service desk, change management, incident management, problem management. So you learn about 34 practices in ITIL 4, out of which 15 are covered in foundation. I'm going to show you that slide in a moment. And then how to continuously improve your products, your services across the organization. So the service value system, which has been introduced in ITIL 4, is at the heart of being agile. The motto of ITIL 4 is how to be agile. I was talking about the practices that are covered. So on the screen, you will see 34 practices that are there in ITL 4. Now, all of these are not covered in foundation for the sole purpose. It's not something that is being decided by Cognitia or any organization. Basically, this scope of the course is set by the governing body of ITIL, which is Excelos. We follow the same course material, we follow the same syllabus. So, as per Excelos guideline, 15 practices are covered in the foundation level. The rest of them are in the advanced certifications and advanced levels of ITIL. So the ones that you see highlighted in green would be what you'll be learning as part of the ITIL 4 foundation training. So I'll give you a moment to just take a moment to glance at the slide. These practices that we'll be covering in foundation, these 15 practices, change management or change control, how to manage the incidents, how to manage our assets, monitoring and event management, how to handle problems, releases, service configuration management, service desk, service level management, service request management, continual improvement, IT security management, relationship management, supplier management, and deployment management. These are the 15. Now, these 15 actually cover majority of the processes that most organizations need. So not every organization may have capacity and performance management, but generally every organization at least will have incident management and service desk. So ITIL has recognized the 15 out of 34 practices which they feel are most important for people who are going through the foundation training and certification to be aware, as they are at the heart of every every organization's IT service management. So you will be learning these 15 practices in foundation. Now let's talk about for a few minutes the differences between ITIL v3 and ITIL 4. This version update that has happened, what does this mean for me? Especially people who were certified earlier in ITIL v3, or people who are not yet certified but they want to know what is the change that has happened, what is new. ITIL v3 certified people, there was something called as service life cycle in ITIL v3. People who are not certified in ITIL v3, of course you would not know what service life cycle is, so you can ignore this, you can just stay along while we talk about the differences between ITIL v3 and ITIL 4. In service lifecycle, if you remember, there was something called as service strategy, service design, service transition, service operation, and continual service improvement. All of these have been replaced by the service value system that you saw earlier. So the service value system that you saw is replacing the earlier lifecycle module of ITIL v3. One of the reasons why we have replaced this is the lifecycle module was not at all agile. It had a fixed path. You start by creating a strategy, move on to design, move on to transition, operation, and continual service improvement. That was not flexible, so we had to let go of it and come up with this service value system. So this is one of the major changes that have happened from ITIL v3 to ITIL 4. Now, the next point is relevant whether you have done ITIL v3 or not for everyone. In ITIL v3, there was a silo-based approach. What do we mean by silo-based approach? See, in 2021 or in 21st century, we can no longer have specialized skill and expect that that is all the work that would be expected from us. What do I mean by that? For example, if you're a developer, you still need to have a high level understanding of what the other teams do because you have to interact with them. So that is why the concept of DevOps came into the picture. A developer no longer should know about coding, they should also know about the operations, and bam, DevOps. That's a combination of development and operation. Many roles like this are getting combined. There is defragmentation of or breaking of these silos that is happening in every organization. A much more holistic and end-to-end approach towards delivery of value is expected. So if you're working in service desk, you're expected to understand what is incident management, what is problem management, what is change management. Which is why, actually, if you look at it, it doesn't matter what role you are in, whether you're a developer, you're into cloud computing, you're into agile, you're into project management. One common thing that you would be seeing is every organization is expecting you to get certified on ITIL. Why is that? Because they expect you to have the basic understanding of all these processes, because their focus is shifting from a siloed approach to a end-to-end delivery of value. They want people who focus not just on their part, but they work in collaboration with different teams. So this approach, this change shift is very much addressed in ITIL 4. Now in ITIL V3, all these processes that we saw, they were called as processes earlier, now we call them as practices. Now why the shift now? Is it just a name change? Because people who had done V3, they would recognize that many of these processes were there in V3 as well. So what is that has changed in V4? Well, it's not just a name change that we are calling it from a process to a practice. The shift that has happened is a process is like a predefined set of instructions. You have an input, you carry out a series of instructions, and you get an output. So process is very much fixed. It does not have a flexibility to work in an agile environment. When we say practice, we are saying we will adopt as per the changing business needs, changing scenarios. How do we do that? We do that using the service value system. So it is not just a change in name. The very way we do things have changed. The very way we handle. So how we handle the incidents earlier and how we handle now has changed. In ITIL V3, the focus was only and solely on the customers. So we only talked about delivering value for the customer, but we never talked about creating value for our internal stakeholders, our sponsors, our internal users. ITIL 4 has recognized that, and in ITIL 4, we focus on all the different stakeholders and how to create value for all these different stakeholders. I know there is a lot of download happening here, but I'm trying to give as much information as possible in this short span of time, in this 1 hour, as much information that I can provide to you so that you can make the decision whether this is something that is right for you as an individual or as an organization. So please bear with me if there's too much information available. ITIL V3 was aligned with waterfall project management technique. As the organizations are moving towards agile project management, ITIL 4 has also aligned itself with agile. How it does all those things will require more detailed explanation, which unfortunately cannot be. I'd love to explain that, but we do not have enough time. But ITIL 4 basically talks about how to handle projects in an agile fashion. So these are some of the changes. Other changes are I'll just go over these quickly because I want to take some time to address your questions. I can see a lot of questions coming in. In ITIL V3, we had a fixed life cycle based approach to value creation, as I already said. You start with strategy, you move on to design. There is no room for flexibility. ITIL 4, we have the flexible service value system. In ITIL V3, we talked about delivery of value to our customers. So if you are a service provider, we said you're delivering value to the customer. When we say delivering, that means customer is only receiving. See, right now, unfortunately, or because we cannot have a co-creation model here, for this webinar, we are having a delivery model wherein I am talking as a service provider, you guys are in listen only mode. This is delivery. But if you come to our trainings, it would be in co-creation of value mode. What does that mean? Co-creation means wherein the customer also participates in the creation of value. So, for example, service provider is asked to create an application for a customer. In a delivery mode, customer will give the requirements to the service provider and wait for it to be delivered. Customer does not have basically responsibility to interact with the service provider on a regular basis. It is everything is on the shoulders of the service provider. But in a co-creation model, which is nothing but an agile model, we expect the customer to co-create and interact with the service provider on a regular basis. So how to do that, which is very much in alignment with agile, this is something that is discussed and addressed in ITIL 4. We have 7 new guiding principles in ITIL 4, and from 26 processes, we have added some more and removed some of them which were not relevant. So the current number of practices that we have, as we no longer call them as processes, is 34. So at a very high level, these are the differences between V3 and ITIL 4. Now, ITIL, Agile DevOps, what is the difference? A lot of confusion is there. See, one of the common myths is that ITIL is all about processes and DevOps is a separate team altogether in the company. But in reality, what is the truth? ITL is all encompassing. So if I have to draw a very rudimentary diagram, please excuse me. ITL is all encompassing. ITL will include DevOps. ITL will include Agile. ITL will include project management, service desk, incident management, development. All of these, ITL is all encompassing. ITL does not conflict with any of these. It is complementary. Why? See, whether you're working in DevOps, whether you're working in Agile, whether you're a project manager, whether you're in service desk, incident management doesn't matter. ITL provides you with the fundamentals or the basics which are relevant for all of these roles. So it is all encompassing. So this confusion that people have, is ITL different than Agile? ITL is a framework that encompasses everything. So people who are not familiar, ITL is a framework with the best practices that tell us how to manage our entire IT. In entire IT, everything comes into the picture. So ITL and DevOps are mutually exclusive. That means they overlap. They do not conflict with each other. So they complement but do not compete. So which is relevant? There is no such thing that ITIL is more relevant or Agile is more relevant or DevOps. All of these exist together at the same platform, at the same level. All right. ITIL is relevant, as I mentioned just now, for all the different roles, whether you're a developer, whether you're into application support, you're into project management, cloud computing, and there's so many more. I mean, there are literally hundreds of roles within ITIL. So it doesn't matter because there's a very common question. I haven't looked at the Q&A section yet in detail, but I'm sure there would be 50 or 60% of the questions would be, I'm in this particular role. How is ITIL relevant to me? Well, to answer that, ITIL is like the ABC. It's the basic language that you need to understand, basic concepts, basic best practices that need to be followed irrespective of what role that you are in. Now, this is one of the major reasons why every organization have started, expecting people from every domain to at least have the foundation certification. I'm not sure how many of you are here because your organization expects you to have, or you're trying to crack an interview wherein you saw that ITIL 4 foundation preferred or required. But this hopefully answers that question, that it, irrespective of what role you are in, ITIL is very much relevant to you. Okay. Let's talk about certification scheme before we move on to the Q&A. So this on the screen, what you see is the ITIL V3 certification scheme. I can see a lot of you who have done ITIL V3 training and certification and are wondering how this certification is different. Is my old certificate still relevant? Do I need to do? How can I do? All these questions I'll try to address in the next few minutes. Now, if you have done ITIL V3 certification, if you have completed ITIL V3 certification and you are at the foundation level, my first question, is my certificate still valid? Yes, it is valid. So Excelos has not said that V3 will no longer be accepted. At the same time, you can understand that a new version has come in the market, which is ITIL 4. Okay. Organizations will expect you to upgrade to ITIL 4 at some point of time. Most organizations are already expecting because it's been 2 years since this new version came in, but it is not mandatory yet. Okay. It is like this. If you're using an iPhone 11 right now, okay, and 12 comes in, it is not mandatory for you to upgrade. But at some point of time, your 11 will no longer be able to keep up with the current demand. Similarly, your ITIL V3 knowledge and understanding is still relevant to some extent because 60% of content has been carried forward to ITIL 4. So 40% or 35 to 40% is new. Okay, so your 60% is still valid. That knowledge, that understanding is still valid. So it is entirely a personal decision at this point of time if you wish to move. Recommendation is yes, because the industry is very fast moving towards ITIL 4. Now, if you're only at a foundation level, and this is the ITIL 4 certification scheme, you want to move on to ITIL 4, you have to go through the foundation again. So your V3 certificate will still be valid, and you do the ITIL 4 foundation training and you get certified on ITIL 4. Both certificates will be valid. Okay. Now, the other scenario is, I don't know how many of you, maybe some of you are at an ITIL expert level, or you have minimum 17 credits. That means you did all these various trainings and certifications in V3. If you wish to move on to ITIL 4, you have a shorter path. You don't need to go through ITIL Foundation. You can directly jump to ITIL Managing Professional. The criteria for skipping all of this and directly jumping here is you need to be an ITIL V3 expert, or you need to have 17 credits in your kitty. So if you fulfill that criteria, no need to go through the foundation and all these levels again. Directly you can jump ahead. Now, this is for people who had done ITIL V3. Now, the other audience, majority of the audience who maybe have not done ITIL V3, they are new, they want to start their journey. You have to start it at the bottom, which is ITIL Foundation. So this foundation training, which is 16 hours of training and certification, will equip you with how to pass this certification. Once you pass, there are variety of paths that you can go on. So you can go in different verticals. There are two verticals, as you can see. One vertical is ITIL Managing Professional. Other vertical is ITIL Strategic Leader. Managing Professional is for people who are managing IT in some way. Strategic leader is for people who are in senior leadership positions. So when I say senior leadership, generally senior managers, directors, VPs, CEOs of the organization who want to create a strategy on how to run ITIL within the organization. Whether you want to become an ITIL managing professional or an ITIL strategic leader, you have to go through the foundation. That is the basic requirement. Okay. So once you do the foundation certification, you are free to go whichever way. You can choose any of these certifications that you see. Now, let me talk about these certifications in very brief. More detail on these certifications is relevant for you once you have gone through the foundation training, so that you understand what these different verticals are all about. But I'll try my best to give you some understanding at least. People who are in supporting the services, delivery of the services like service desk role, service management role like incident management, problem management, change management, all of these, project management. Create, deliver, and support certification after foundation is relevant for them. This gives you an ITIL specialist title. So the first certification gives you a ITIL foundation title. The second gives you ITIL specialist title. These three give you ITIL specialist title. The next one is drive stakeholder value. If you're in a job role or position, or if you're looking to move towards a job role or position wherein your role will involve dealing with a lot of different customers and stakeholders and how to provide value for them, a lot of customer facing roles. So like business relationship managers or people who deal with customers day in day out, drive stakeholder value specialist certification is relevant for them. High velocity IT is a specific certification that has been provided in ITIL 4 for people who are in roles such as Agile, DevOps, Lean, and they want to understand how to drive ITIL, how to adopt ITIL along with these Agile, DevOps concepts within their organization, and implement this within their organization. So these three are specialist roles You can choose any one of them or all of them depending on your role and your interest. There is something called as a ITL strategist, which is common for both. So as you can see, this is exactly the same in both the verticals. So once you do this certification, you need not do it in the other module. The strategist direct plan and improve is a certification that is available for people who are in senior leadership roles or management roles, or even managers or quality leads who want to see how to improve the services within their organization, how to drive various team, how to plan for improvement. So this is common. As I said, you can do it either once you do it as part of the managing professional or strategic leader, you need not repeat it. And then you have digital and IT strategy, which is again how to create a strategy for leading the IT in 21st century. So once you complete all of these, for example, you become an ITL managing professional, which basically gives you title that you are an expert in managing the IT within your organization or within an organization. If you complete these two, let's say you skip all of these, you complete these two, it gives you the title of ITL strategic leader. That gives you the resources and capability to give you enough knowledge on how to drive ITIL within your organization. You're in that position. Now, while for doing all of these certification, there is no prerequisite. So no prior experience is required, no prior understanding is required. We will take you through, especially for foundation, there is no prior understanding required. Even if you're new to IT, you do not even know what IT means, it is still relevant and you can come, and because we will start with the basics. For all these certifications, the basic requirement is prerequisite is ITIL Foundation. For ITL Strategic Leader, there is a requirement that you should have minimum 3 years of experience in the relevant role or industry. So minimum 3 years of experience if you have, it is recommended, then only you go for strategic leader role, because otherwise it is not relevant. So this is basically the ITL certification scheme, how it looks like in ITIL 4. I thank you all for joining this webinar. Hope this webinar provided you with valuable insight on what is ITIL and how ITIL can help you with your career. And hopefully, I look forward to seeing many of you in the upcoming trainings. I wish you guys all the best and stay safe out there. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining in today. Have a good day.